Thank you, Liam. Well, as you just heard, we're in the dog days of summer, and with this heat wave we're in, a lot of people are diving into their swimming pools to cool off. But who's responsible if someone gets injured swimming in your backyard pool? John Philp with Preszler Law is here to talk about that. Good morning.
Thanks for having me again.
We were just chatting. I said, I love swimming, but pools make me nervous when they're your own pool in your own backyard. Yeah. It just seems like it opens up the possibility for a lot of trouble, potentially.
This is a great topic, and inevitably, a couple times a summer, we get phone calls at our office of people seriously injured because of a pool mishap in their backyard. As a homeowner, you are the one who has the ultimate responsibility if someone is injured in your swimming pool. And that can be devastating emotionally, but also financially. If you don't have enough insurance that would cover this type of injury, you're looking at some pretty serious consequences to yourself and your family.
Since you mentioned insurance, talk about that for a second and the way that you can get quite a sizable amount of coverage for not too much money.
Yeah, well, typically what we see with swimming pool injuries is it's usually a spinal cord injury. Some sort of, person is dove into the pool not expecting it to be a certain depth and didn't judge it properly. Neck, back injuries are very common, which can result in someone becoming a paraplegic or a quadriplegic even. And these types of claims are very serious. And usually people, for their home insurance, have $1 million in place. For that type of injury, it's going to go beyond that $1 million policy limit very quickly. So typically, insurance companies don't really like you to know this, so this is a little secret that I'm going to share with you. There's called an umbrella policy. So if you have your homeowner's insurance and your auto insurance with the same company, you can approach your broker and say, look, I'd like to get an umbrella policy, which means that you can get up to about $5 million in coverage for both your vehicle and your home. And $5 million goes a lot farther than $1 million in these types of injury claims involving swimming pools.
So are you on the hook regardless of the circumstances if it happens in your pool on your property?
Well, no. Listen, we've talked about this many times before, Liza, and it always depends on the circumstances for a personal injury case. But as a homeowner, you have to take certain precautions to make sure that your pool is safe. For example, if it's a shallow pool, you have to put signs up that say no diving. That has to be very clear. You know, having one sign behind a potted plant that says no diving is not going to be sufficient if someone injures themselves diving into your shallow pool. You have to take reasonable steps in the circumstances. And the same law that we've talked about in previous situations, the Occupier's Liability Act, is also applicable here. And it requires that homeowners take reasonable steps in the circumstances to ensure the safety of people attending at their property.
Right, and that would, let's say you have teenage kids, you're not home, they have a party, someone gets hurt in the pool and you're not even there.
Yeah.
The same rules apply if you've put up signs and things?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, alcohol is always, well, not always, but very often a factor in these sort of circumstances. And you know, that can factor into who's at fault for the accident. For example, if someone's very intoxicated, goes swimming in your pool and injures themselves, they're going to have a certain degree of responsibility for their own injuries. But again, as the homeowner, you're also going to very likely share in that responsibility as well.
All right, John Philp from Preszler Law, thanks again. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
We're going to take a look at traffic now. Here's Kim.